We got some news about the brand new Call of Duty, about Venom 3, about Shang-Chi, and about Knives Out 3, and so much more. While we also dive into Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Before we all dive in, you know what comes up first.
Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, thank you so much for coming past on listening, watching, and everything else in between on whatever platform you do watch or listen to this podcast on. Just the other day, I was looking at some of the countries that this podcast gets listened to, and I'm like, I've never heard of you. I've never heard of you. I've never heard of you. I don't even know where you're on a map. But thank you for listening, and I appreciate it greatly. Just some of the countries that Spotify podcast shows you where you're being listened to. I'm just like, Jesus, I didn't know how far this podcast goes, and I'm humbled by the entire thing. But look, before we dive into this full episode, I want to make sure to let you know, definitely go check out our last episode where we went in deep dive into the X-Men 97 final, and we explained all the cameos, what it leads to in season 2, and what's next for the show as we go into season 2 and season 3 and beyond. I had a very special guest. I had the Vigilante Vibes, a Marvel podcast, come onto the show. It was a great time. It was a solid episode, and please go check that out. It was a good time. I can't wait till the next time we have them on the show. But let's dive into the news and what's coming up. Like, as I said, what we've got is the Knives Out. Well, Knives Out saga, but Knives Out's only called the first one. So you have Knives Out, The Glass Onion, and of course we've got the third announcement we've got is Wake Up Dead Man, which is the third movie in the trilogy, which will be coming with Daniel Craig returning as the titular character. Now, at this stage, it only says 2025. We don't know when in the 12 months it will be coming out. But if the announcement trailer has just come out now, I would say mid to late next year, it should be dropping on Netflix. And this will be Rian Johnson's third movie in this trilogy. He certainly signed him for 3 films, so whether or not there'll be a fourth one is up in question. But we know that both films have been critically acclaimed and great, and everyone has loved them so far, so that could be up for a debate. But don't you worry, detective fans, we have got the third movie that is coming, and it's right next year when this will be popping up. Also, with this past week, we got the Beetlejuice 2 trailer, Beetlejuice. Now, this trailer, I have to say, was a lot better than the other one we got a month ago, which was just a teaser, if you will. And pretty much everyone is back from the first film, except for, obviously, Alec Baldwin. He's not back. He's not back, of course. But it just, watching the trailer, I was just watching going, I really can't wait to dive right back into this world. The wackiness, the CGI, just Michael Keaton being fantastic as a role as Beetlejuice, new characters, William Dafoe. There's a whole theory that Johnny Depp's going to rock up, obviously because of him and Tim Burton. But no, I'd love to know, what did you think of the trailer? Did you like it? Are you ready to go back into this world? It has been a very long time since the Beetlejuice 1 came out. Michael Keaton was a lot younger back then. A lot younger. But, it's funny. It's like I look back, and when I watch the first Beetlejuice, I always find it a little bit hard. I'm like, wow, people would have seen this and gone, that guy is Batman. Like, that crazy guy with all this makeup is Batman. Like, such 2 big different roles. And obviously between this and The Flash, Michael Keaton is touching backs on all these major role characters that he has portrayed in the past. Whether or not Jack Frost. I don't know if he's going to come back for Jack Frost, how that ended. But You never know with everything that's being rebooted, sequel, soft reboot, legacy, prequel, whatever type of words you want to put into it is what is currently out with Hollywood. But except for this movie that we're going to review right at the end, this might make a little bit of exception. But Beetlejuice 2 coming on 5th of September this year. Lock it in, and tickets should go on sale soon. Also, I totally forgot that this was actually happening altogether. We are getting a brand new Street Fighter movie from Lionsgate. They have officially dropped the brand new logo for the movie, which I think is no surprise to anybody. It was like, it's pretty sure that's what I thought it was going to look like anyway. Didn't think it was going to look like anything else. But the Street Fighter movie is currently in production. There's no release date at this stage. At this time, I would say it would be maybe at the end of 2025, early 2026, that we will see that movie coming. Now, what we will get also in that time frame is we will get Mortal Kombat 2 movie that will be dropping next year, which I can't wait for. Now, Street Fighter movie, it's been a very, very long time since we got the Street Fighter. So my biggest question for the Street Fighter is, I know obviously the different setting, the different characters, but like, how is this going to really separate itself from Mortal Kombat? Now, we both know the type of styles that both Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter games are. But how, visually stunning, like obviously Mortal Kombat has the more gore, has the more brutality in it. Obviously, right now with both Omni-Man and Homelander in Mortal Kombat right now, how Street Fighter is going to be that little bit more Never Back Down kind of style. Wow, that is a movie I have not seen in so long. Never Back Down. That type of style kind of movie. Is that how it's going to go into? How flashy are the characters going to be? Are we going to see one guy that's going to have a tiger head or tiger mask? You know exactly which character I'm talking about. Are we going to see that? But how is this going to differentiate itself from Mortal Kombat with that coming out? So that's my biggest question. But the logo looks sick. I'm in. Can't wait for it. I'll be right there day one to go watch it. But don't you worry, Street Fighter fans, the movie is on its way. Now, also, for anyone who's a How to Train Your Dragon fan, there's How to Train Your Dragon film. Official live action film has officially wrapped filming. That's all done and dusted. And that will be coming out next year it's June 13th. I was going to say June 16th. June 13th release date for the brand new How to Train Your Dragon live action movie, which I'm really curious to see how this is going to look. Hopefully it's not going to look anything like Aragon or it's not Scorched Earth. There's a movie, I can't remember its name. And it's on the tip of my tongue. It's got Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey. It's something by fire. I can't remember, but like that type of CGI. And if you haven't seen that movie, imagine a post-apocalyptic world where dragons rule and it's really gritty, like wasteland type of vibes. That's what I can't remember. I can see the poster and everything. That's going to haunt me. But How to Train Your Dragon live action is coming, and you'll be seeing that next year. Now, this is, I believe, no surprise to anybody, is that Call of Duty has announced that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has officially been announced, and that will be coming this year. Now, this will be an official showcase of the game on June the 9th, and this will be at the Xbox Game Showcase, so we'll be having that, and then the Call of Duty will be directly after that. So it's interesting that this game got announced because I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and he made a really good point. Right now, X-Defiant is out, and it's absolutely killing it. Everyone's loving the game. It looks good. It's free to play. It's just doing so well. But what I just love is that, X-Defiant comes out. All the reviews are really good. Everyone's loving it. And then there's Activision and Xbox being like, oh, by the way, Call of Duty, here's some Call of Duty news. Slight leak that it's getting announced, but it's coming out. It just seemed too convenient on how this is going to happen. Or like, for that coming out, for this doing, like, for that, just a bit like, that's a little bit sus. I trust you, Xbox. Nah, but Call of Duty fan. But the thing is, like, who? Black Ops, yes. Black Ops 1 and 2 and 3, excellent, excellent, excellent. But, like, as a family, how many people, like, are you truly excited for a new Call of Duty game? Like, for me, it's almost just like a staple. Like, I haven't been excited for a Call of Duty game in so long. Like, the last Call of Duty game that I was excited for and I was like really loved it was Call of Duty World War II that came out 3 years ago. Could be 4 years ago. And like, yes, it was based on World War II, but it just seemed like so long since we've had a Call of Duty game in World War II again that it was just so refreshing. And like, yes, with I did pick up Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 because for nostalgia reasons, but nothing like I'm really excited for. I'm like, oh, look at this! Can't wait. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I got really excited for a Call of Duty game, and I was right there. Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, Black Ops, all of it, loved it. But and everyone I talked to, can't remember the last time someone said to me, like, "Oh, I can't. You see the trailer for the new Call of Duty? I can't wait. I am all in. Take my money. This is going to be a game changer." When's the last time you ever heard anyone say that? But besides Black Ops, it should be interesting to see what's going to be at the Xbox Game Showcase. What will be on Showcase, what new stuff that'll be on the horizon. And don't forget that Summer Game Fest is also around the corner. Now that we're entering the mid-year, mid of the year, this is where all the good movies are going to come out. This is where all the announcements for the video games are going to come out. It's all right now. It's all coming right now. So I'm really excited to see what we're going to see the next month. For me, the game right now that I really, really want a release date is on Dragon Ball Z Sparkling Zero. I can't wait for that game. That looks so sleek. And for anyone who doesn't know what that title is, this is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4, basically. And I can't wait until we get that. But right now, we're getting trailers. We're getting clips from it. I'm like, just give the release date. I know it's coming this year. Just calm down. Just give us the bloody release date. And I'll be happy. And that's it. But yes, Call of Duty fans, you're getting another one. What's this going to look like? Will this be a game changer? Or will this just be Control V, Control C, copy and paste? And be done. Because you never know, that's exactly what's usually going to happen. Also, so this feels like a development hell type of show of how long this is going to be. And this goes on the same thing as Marvel's Armor Wars. I feel like it's been in development for so long. So, WandaVision came out 3-4 years ago. Yeah, 2020 or 2021, around there, 2 years ago. And from that show, we've got Agatha Diaries of Darkness, all the 4 5th titles that we got from that. The Agatha TV show, and the other one was Vision Quest that was meant to be happening. Now, we've finally got an update about Vision Quest, and that will be arriving in 2026 with Paul Bettany returning as the titular character. Now, yes, as I'm saying that is another 2 years away. So far away, and I'm going to take a stab and say that's also going to be a time frame of when we're going to get Armor Wars in that same type of year as well. Just such big gaps between these shows. Now, I'm really excited for Comic-Con this year or Disney 23. Actually, I'm excited for both. Whichever one where Marvel's going to make the most juicy announcement for. Because Marvel needs to come in strong and not do a course correction, but just give us an idea of what the time frame looks like with everything. As I said, we're going to go Deadpool this year. And a handful of Disney Plus shows. And then we heard Bob Iger be like, we're coming back on the Marvel stuff. And, I think it was 2 or 3 films a year and only 2 or 3 shows, which I'm fine with that. But in saying that, I was like, all right, just want to know what's going to happen. Not to mention, this will be a big one because we will be getting our very first Fantastic Forecast on the stage. Hopefully at Hall H in Comic-Con. But yes, that is going to be happening this year. So a lot of announcements, a lot of shows are going to be happening in the next 2 months. And I am all for it, ladies and gentlemen. All for it. But Vision Quest 2026, that's when it's gonna be arriving. So I don't hold your breath with everything that's going there. Most we know in 2025 so far off the straight off the bat will be Daredevil Born Again, which we got a brand new logo for, which looks fantastic. So that's also going around the corner, roughly about Feb to March. That will be dropping in its 9 episodes format. But Vision Quest, we're going to get that. So another thing that's been with time frame is that we've got our very first update about the Marvel Studios X-Men movie. Now we know it's coming. We're all excited. Right now, Marvel has killed it with X-Men 97 and what they've done, that project. That is the highest rated animated Marvel project right now on IMDb, and it's well deserved. I was just listening to the soundtrack to that this morning. I was like, God, so excited for season 2, and we better get it this time next year. Now, I will also say that we've been absolutely treated with animation this year. So, you got Invincible, we got X-Men 97. Shit, like what's gonna, we got Superman season 2 that's coming. The Adventures of Superman season 2 coming out. So I'm really excited for that as well. But going off the back of Invincible and X-Men 97, and I saw someone's tweet the other day, and I thought of it, and I thought, yeah, you know what? I liked it and reposted it. It was, Invincible and X-Men 97, all about, making more movies, connecting everything. But why don't we just pump more into animation and the same kind of, love and care and dedication we've seen in these two shows? I would be happy for. And not to mention, the X-Men 97 has opened a completely new world as well, because right now it's like, is that its own multiverse? Can we get Daredevil? Can we get Superman? Sorry, Superman. Could we get Superman? Could we get Spider-Man rebooted? The Fantastic Four, all the cameos that we saw in the final X-Men 97. There's a whole world in that could be expanded on into its own. Because remember, there's Marvel Studios, Marvel Animation now, and Marvel TV. All 3 sections now that you can enjoy. Sorry, not to go off tangent, but the biggest thing that right now with Marvel right now that's on a lot of people's minds is their X-Men movie. Now, yes, we're all excited for Avengers. I'm excited for Avengers, but we know that's coming. But the X-Men movie is something. There's a lot of weight to the X-Men movie because A, how are they going to introduce it into this already established universe? B, how do you introduce the mutant gene into this established universe? The X-Mansion, all the X-Men, how are you going to introduce them into this? And how's it going to fit? And the next question is, of course, a lot of people fix the characters that Fox stuffed up. And then we just got X-Men 97, which just, boom, killed it out of the park. We got a team. Everyone loved it. That's how it should be. And I would like to say hello to the Galactic Core podcast for coming on the podcast. Can't wait. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Cannot wait to finally see the X-Men. Same, man. I'm right there with you. And that's the biggest question is like, everyone's excited for it, but how's it going to be? Who's going to be Magneto? Who's going to be Charles? Who's going to be Wolverine, Cyclops? Are they going to do justice on Rogue? That's the body of going into this, of all these questions. And it's interesting. Kevin Feige, he's same thing. He's like, I'm just excited for you guys to see this into the movie and into the MCU. It's got to gel right now. Yes, we have had cameos. We have seen the multiverse. Beast, Charles. And we're about to go into Deadpool 3, which is going to have multiverse madness written all over it with how many X-Men we're going to see from the original X-Men 1, 2, and 3, Origins, First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse. All of them we're going to see. Whether or not we're actually going to see any major ones like Charles or Magneto is up in the air. I would love Michael Fassbender to come back as Magneto in this movie. That would be sick. And Deadpool will be like, oh, no, I prefer the other one. Or, something like that. Not to mention for X-Men 97 on our episode, that we did, we were discussing a wild theory that what happens if Deadpool and Wolverine, because we're all seeing the trailer. If you're listening to this podcast, you've seen the trailer for X-Men. That happens was at the end, we see them jumping through a portal. Obviously, it's a Doctor Strange portal, and of course, the other screen is blanked out. Now, they could be going to the TVA. They could be going to another world. Another one I saw was that they're going to do a DC jump. I was like, that's a bit of a stretch, maybe. Another one I saw was it's going to go to X-Men 3. And my theory was that it would be really sick if they jumped into the world of X-Men 97 and they were like all animated in that style. Even just for a few seconds, that would just be wow. Because remember, the writers for X-Men 97 could use all the characters except for one, and that was Deadpool. So wonder why going into this, I'm really, really excited. So I would love to know, how would you want the team to go into the X-Men into the Marvel Studios? So yeah, who would you focus on? Who would you use? Who you don't want to use? What's going to be the thing for me? For me, I want to see Cyclops as the leader. I want to see Cable. I want Rogue to be a badass, not like what she's in the original movies. I think they could do the X-Men just for a little while without Wolverine. I think that would be a good idea, just for a little time, just because we're getting Deadpool and Logan right now. And of course, we know that the recasting of Logan is right around the corner, so we're going to keep that in mind. But the update that we have got on this movie is that now that Marvel is searching for writers and in negotiations for writers to come on board and start penning a script for the movie. So I highly doubt we're going to get any little tidbit from... actually, no, I'd lie. If we get any tidbit from Kevin Feige about the X-Men movie, I'd say the only thing we're going to get is the logo. No release date, probably time. Actually, yeah, probably some time frame, but just the logo, and that's it. And he could say 2030, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm right there. 2030, I'm in. We got a logo. So whether or not, the other big question is, as we know, X-Men goes in the MCU. The intro needs to have its own particular theme. We got that with the Bryan Singer legacy. We got that with X-Men 97. So X-Men in the MCU needs its own theme. Now, Shang-Chi fans, then we know that we have been deprived. We've cried out our hopes of this. We've tweeted about it. We've made noise about it. The rumor is Shang-Chi that will start filming next year. We will be getting an update at Comic-Con or D23 about the movie and get ready. So if it's filming next year, we probably won't see it until 2026. But Shang-Chi fans, hopefully this will be when we'll get it the next 2 years. And in between Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. Because remember, Secret Wars is the only Avengers movie that hasn't had the title change. So we need to know what's going to WTF with Kang. Also, I'd like to remember everyone, do not forget to go get your Deadpool tickets that went on sale this past week. I've got mine. I've checked in. I can't wait to see it. Actually, it's funny. I was talking to a friend the other day. I'm like, I'm really excited for the movie. But you know what I'm a little bit excited for? I don't know what the F is the popcorn bucket going to be. Now, Ryan Reynolds is talking about it. I'm like, I want to know what the bucket's going to be. I'm like, yeah, that's all cool. But what's the bucket going to be? And is it going to be anything like the Dune movie? And is it going to be... Galactico podcast. I got my tickets for the Midnight Premiere. Oh, the Midnight Premiere is going to be sick, man. I am so jealous. So I've had to wait until Saturday to go see this. So I will literally be going social media dark for the entire week. That is going to be so hard for the entire week to go dark. Because I know with our podcasting community, we were all going to be nuts. And we're all going to be talking about the biggest movie of the summer, Deadpool and Wolverine. So that's going to be so hard. Not to mention, I'll probably see this movie twice, but I'm so excited. and I am so jealous, man. That is going to be sick, and you're going to have, and like, you're going to be one of those people that's going to see all that straight at the front and then try not to tell everybody it's coming. But everyone, also get your tickets, don't you forget. Also, now this is yeah, that's pretty much how I can say this. Venom 3. Venom 3 is coming out in October this year. Now, it's called Venom: The Last Dance. I understand that it's the last in the trilogy. I understand it's the last one with Tom Hardy. I understand it's the last one with Venom. Why is it called Last Dance? Sounds like one of those dance movies, Hit the Streets or some crap like that. You know exactly what's that movie. There's early 2000s dance movies that were everywhere. That's what it sounds like. Now, this particular movie, now we know that's arriving. There's very little about the plot details about this and about the cast. So the latest rumor that we've been circulating around is that a young 10-year-old Peter Parker is going to be rocking up in this movie and might be intertwined with the movie's plot. Whether, with the whole thing I saw is that maybe another Venom is going with another multiverse is coming in to try and kill Peter and make sure he doesn't become Spider-Man in the future, which, that's a plot that we've heard so many times. Oh no, I'm going to go back in time, or I'm going to go jump another universe to make sure this guy doesn't become Spider-Man, Superman, or anything else in between. So that's what's going to be coming. That's a theory I've heard. But Peter Parker, 10 years old. Look, I can't say I'm excited about it. I'm not excited about Venom 3. I'm not. Venom 1 was good. Venom 2 was shit. Venom 3, yeah. It called The Last Dance. It's by Sony. Madam Web was shit. Oh. It's by the same studio. Oh. I'm just going down. Not to mention, I heard another thing was one of the producers for Kraven the Hunter was like, we moved Kraven the Hunter to go back in December so people want to go see it multiple times. No one's going to want to see that movie multiple times. Right here, I can tell you that we're all going to see Kraven the Hunter once. And it's probably going to be subpar. It's going to probably be between Madam Web and Venom. And you're going to be in between that. And that scale is very small. Galacticore podcast. As long as it's not as bad as the pregnant Peter scenes from Madam Web. I hope not. And what did I see? Was Netflix? Madam Web is a hit on Netflix. Why is that a hit? This movie is horrible. There is so much. Go check our review because we do the whole thing about breakdown how this movie is a giant pile of shit. But that's my problem going into Venom 3 is that I'm worried. I'm not excited. Venom 2 was crap. The studio behind it just giving us Madam Web. The Kraven the Hunter's been pushed back. And it's just like, woo, oh, this is boo. That's pretty much going into this. I just, can't feel it. Not feeling it at all. Oh, but, Sony's going to do their thing. We're getting this. And Sony's just going to be like, we know you're going to love it. We know you're going to love it as much as Madam Web. Not to mention, Anime the Galactic podcast, he had one of the best reviews. Here's my review of Madam Web. Oh, it was shit. And I think it was like only 40 seconds or 30 seconds your review was for Madam Web. That movie was just bad. But I know I've probably been a little bit critical about Venom 3, and I know there's going to be people out there. It's going to be like, oh, don't hate it until you see it, or you never know. Tom Hardy's in it. Just be patient. I'm like, I am patient, and I will go see this day one, like everybody else. But no one is giving, no studio, no one's giving me any hype or anything why I should go into this movie and be like really excited for it. So yeah, there's no one going to that. But look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is the biggest news that's happened in the past week as and then we're going to dive into Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. So if you haven't seen it yet, turn this podcast off and come back straight into it as we're going to go dive into this movie, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is a prequel to the 2015 Mad Max movie with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. Now, this is the fifth Mad Max movie in the entire saga, directed and written by George Miller. Now, I didn't realize this when I was looking up the details of this movie, and I don't know why it never clicked. So, Mad Max 2 and 3 are considered one of the best action movies ever made. If you look on any list, any title, Mad Max and Mad Max Fury Road is up there with one of the best action movies, period. Now, the same guy who's made Mad Max, made one of the greatest action movies of all time, also made Happy Feet, also directed and wrote Happy Feet 1 and 2. I was just like, huh. And the guy's only got 13 directing credits to his name, just directing movies. And that's what it's 5 of them are just Mad Max, but then 2 of them are Happy Feet. I was like, huh, what a pendulum of the quality of the person you could be to make that. Now, Hugh Jackman, Chris Hemsworth said it best. America, you have Star Wars. The UK, you have Harry Potter. Us here in Australia, we have Mad Max. That is our thing. So Mad Max, all the films are based in Australia because George Miller is Australian as well. And we obviously had Mel Gibson, the original ones, and Chris Hemsworth did audition for Mad Max for the 2015 one that went to Tom Hardy. Now, Tom Hardy does have a 3-picture deal to come back as Mad Max. So we will get another Mad Max with him in it, which I really do hope so. But, when this movie got announced, and I was like, okay, cool. I was excited, but not overly excited going into this. And this movie goes for 2 hours and 28 minutes. Now, it's funny because when you're watching this film, and I think a lot of people relate to this, is you're watching this movie, all the practical effects, all the action, the set pieces, the cinematography, everything just looks so good, so detailed, and it's such a refreshing thing that we're going watching a superhero flick where you see the CGI all the time. You can tell the difference, and it's shit or it can be good. Similar, very similar to like Dune, opposed to coming into this year and seeing Madam Web, which again I hate to compare everything to Madam Web, but it's horrible and the CGI is horrible. That whole movie is a giant pile of crap. It is literally worse than pile of crap. And I also thought it was funny going into this film. I was like, when I was halfway through it, I was watching, another desert wasteland movie. That seems to be the theme for 2024 because we got Dune, we got this, and we got Fallout. So will there be another wasteland post-apocalyptic movie later this year? Might be, but so far that seems to be the theme. I'm like, wow, everything seems to be set and like this. So this film is set in Australia. It is post-apocalyptic. It's having the world's gone to crap, which we all know. And this is, as mentioned, a direct prequel to the Mad Max movie in 2015. So you can watch this and go straight into Mad Max, pretty much back-to-back, seamlessly together to go watch these films. And Anna Taylor-Joy does a fantastic job as Furiosa. Now, there was a little bit of kickback about the film because of Charlize Theron, whether or not she was going to come back. Would do the de-aging thing, and George Miller was like, they didn't want to do that. And that's fair. The de-aging thing for the de-aging effect on characters should only be used on shortened particular scenes, particular characters, not the entire length of the film. That's a little bit jarring, and that would be so difficult, especially in this film. For example, Indiana Jones. We had de-aged Harrison Ford, but that was all dark lighting. Majority was dark lighting, so it was fine. But this film, you're in bright, open desert. You'll be able to tell that de-aging straight away. Not seeing Charlize Theron as that old, but this is obviously has to show her a little bit younger. As she's a kid growing up, so there will be that little bit of a de-aging thing. But I think Anna Taylor-Joy did a fantastic job of living up to the character Furiosa and living up to what Charlize Theron did with the character and leading in perfectly going into this. And not to mention, we also get Chris Hemsworth as Dementos. He does a fantastic job being in this villain, this crazy lunatic that's so up himself, it's not even funny. And he does such a good job. And it's very refreshing to see him in this type of role opposed to Thor. And he obviously he's done more action movies, which we have seen. But this was a definition of someone going into a movie and going, I know that role. I know what the mission's at stake. And George Miller even said himself, he saw Chris. He wasn't thinking about Chris being in this lead role, but after having an initial meeting with him, boom, he was like, I am in, and this is the guy going into this movie. And it was really good. And now look, I know this might be a little bit controversial, and Anna Taylor-Joy did such a good job, but Chris Hemsworth carries this entire film. From his performance, his characters, his motivations, everything else in between, he's the one who carries this. Anna Taylor-Joy's character only has 30 lines. She only has 30 lines in this movie. Not to mention, she only appears in the movie 1 hour into this. She's only in the movie for an hour and 30 minutes. That's it. Now, I will tell you why that is the case, but she's only in this, so you can see why Chris Hemsworth is the man going into this movie. Now, we get to see a very young Furiosa. We get to see, her getting captured by these raiders, and that leads to an awesome set piece where we get introduced to Chris Hemsworth's character, his motivations. Of course, spoilers, he kills her mum, which leads onto this dark path between him and Furiosa, and in between, and how that goes with them on their journey, which is a journey that you understand more of the wasteland, between the food, the water, the bullets, and the petrol, how this all works in coherence together. Seeing the wasteland, how vast it is, this open road, all the cinematography for the movie is fantastic. I loved it. It really sets into this. This is a movie 100% you should see in IMAX, because just the world that George Miller has created, you don't want to leave it. Yes, it is obviously dark, twisted, messed up, and mutants. Immortan Joe has his wives trying to give him a good air. He has these all women locked up in a cage. That's a bit weird and messed up, but it's the wasteland. Fallout's even more messed up than that. And there's an entire list on there you can go into how messed it up is in the wasteland. Now, this movie, as it's all setting up, you understand, Chris Hemsworth's character, Dementos, he wants to be number one. He wants to take over everyone. He has a giant army of all these bikers into this gang, and he's pretty messed up. Being that character, being Dementos, you really understand how he's messed up. And you do feel for him too, because he does, he carries a teddy bear, and he does mention, his family's all gone, and why he takes Furiosa and tries to raise her and calls her Little D, which she really doesn't like at all. So, between Furiosa, trying to get up, trying to get out of there, in all that sense, and then with and as Chris Dementos, he's also gaining more. He's struggling trying to take over Gastown. It all collides into this giant all-out war. Now, this movie is also broken up into chapters as well. The last time I saw a movie with chapters was Zack Snyder's Justice League. I was like, huh. So the chapters basically break it up from Furiosa's character from being a child, being with Dementor's team, being captured and working for Mojo Joe, and then her working on this massive rig that Mojo Joe does build so they can deliver the goods from all three towns, and then her going on her own ride to go take out Dementors in this fashion. So all the major characters are back from the first one. They're all back. So again, this is pretty much a direct sequel. So you really can dive. There is nothing out of place into this. You can really just dive into this and go straight into Mad Max Fury Road, which when this movie finished, I was like, I really want a sequel. I really want another Mad Max movie now. This is going to want you clamor for it to go back into this world. I want Tom Hardy back. Now, the question, which I know a lot of people would have asked, is Tom Hardy in this movie? No. But his character, the Interceptor, his car, you can see it. You see him in a very cameo scene where he's overlooking the wasteland and he is watching Furiosa. So you do see that. So, of course, they had to include him into this massive world and obviously going into that. So he does make an appearance, but this film is just, there's a couple of points where it does slow down a bit. I will admit I was a bit like, looking at my watch just because of the runtime, but not watching my watch because I was enjoying the movie. Just some of the points where it just slows down a little bit more, and then you get the action. Fury Road probably had more action in this film. This is more of a character-driven kind of story, which is fine. But the set pieces we do get in is blast. There is a shot they were saying that took about two. It was a really long shot they took. It was like longest. I think it's obviously to be with the oil, to do with the rig. It is a massive set piece on what this does, and it's such a long shot. And you can see why this took so long. So my basic thing is this movie is if you're looking for action and you're looking at something for refreshing and you're looking to diving back into this, if you still got post-apocalyptic fever, thanks because of Dune and Fallout, this is gonna put a cherry on top, right on top. And this had more action in it than Dune. I'm saying that right now. This had more action and more intense action than what Dune is. I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh no, it didn't." I'm like, yeah, it did. Go watch these films side by side. This was more of the action set piece. So if I'm picking my Wasteland movie of the year, this is the film over Dune. So far, Wasteland TV show, it was going to be Fallout. Don't know what's going to top that all in that sense. But this movie, the characters, so good. And it's just going to want to make you dive right back into this world and, clamor for a sequel. And the problem is George Miller is, I think he's like 79. So I hope he can pump out another Mad Max with Tom Hardy because, as soon as he passes away, then the series is going to get rebooted. And whether or not it's going to be just as good is another big question, because Mad Max has been all about the world setting, the madness, and the practical effects. Did I see there was probably one scene that I slightly noticed about the CGI, but it was only for like a blink and a minute. You miss it really, and that's me looking. If I was a casual fan, I would have noticed, but because of me and because it was this podcast, I did notice slightly. But everyone does a great job in this. All the acting was good, and it's just a solid action flick that you should go see in IMAX, and it's an absolute win for this year. I would definitely be watching. Actually, no, I lie. I was gonna say I'd definitely be watching this. No, I'd be definitely watching Mad Max Fury Road again in the next week, just because how much this made me want to go back to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was a review for Mad Max. Sorry, Furiosa Mad Max Saga, and it's just a film that you need. The action, the beating, Chris Hemsworth, Anna Taylor-Joy, it's all a nice package, and I can see why they got a 7-minute standing ovation at the Cannes Festival. It was well deserved, and well deserved for George Miller as well. This is another out of the park. Now, he did initially want to shoot this back to back. Apparently, there was a couple of payment issues with Warner Brothers, but no, it is in that time frame. But it is a spectacular and outstanding film. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's my review for Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was it a win? What do you think? Was this better than Dune? It is. And as always, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.